Hi, welcome back to our Sproutable Q&A. This week we have a question from a parent about how to work through the feeling of embarrassment with her daughter. So the story that she shared was that they are walking to school and the daughter is getting really embarrassed by the behavior of her younger brother. She keeps telling him to stop and then just really shuts down and internalizes the feeling. And the parent at the time felt this conflict of emotions. Number one, she wants her to feel some more loyalty to her brother. And then number two, she wants her to be able to not care about what others think about her. And then number three, how do I also work through the emotions? So thank you so much for sending this question in. One way to unpack this is to start first with the feeling. So ultimately, the life skill of having loyalty with your sibling and not caring what other people think, those will come. We'll have practice in lots of other ways with those as well. But the first step with this emotion is to really get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So as much as we want to go into the advice or letting them know it's no big deal, nobody's watching, or it doesn't matter what kids think of you, or your brother is fine, let him be this way. Our first step is to help them be comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. The first step is really feeling the feeling of being embarrassed. So recently this happened to me when my daughter came home. She had gotten the time wrong for an activity, had shown up. It was not supposed to be when she showed up. And she walked back in the door feeling really dejected. I could just see it on her face. So I immediately go into the fix-it mode. Oh, it's no big deal. At least we didn't miss it. It's next week. No problem. And then I paused and I realized that look on her face was shame and embarrassment. And I just stopped talking and I held my arms around her and I said, that must have felt really embarrassing. And she started crying at that point and said, yes, I feel really embarrassed. And I just held that space for her. I said, it is so uncomfortable to feel that feeling. It is one of the ickiest feelings, I know. And I held her again and I took a really deep breath. I said, it's a hard feeling, isn't it? And that's it. Just holding that space for feeling embarrassed, for feeling uncomfortable, accessing that place for me too when I feel embarrassed, and just holding that for her and allowing her to go through that arc of the emotion. So when our young children feel this as well, we can give them those first steps to name it. We can say, wow, you feel really embarrassed. We can hold them, feel that physical sensation of that big hug, of that deep breath, to start to have that muscle memory that the next time they feel embarrassed, they can take that deep breath, they can reach out for a hug to someone, and they can know that it's okay to feel this feeling. I'll come out on the other side. It's really helpful to loop back then and say, how are you feeling now after the case? Oh, I'm feeling better. I feel okay. I feel fine. And point that out to them. Say, isn't that interesting? We can feel it hurts so much in the moment when we feel embarrassed. And then it's just like an ocean wave where then it really does pass. We are okay on the other side. We don't feel embarrassed forever. Thank you so much for writing in. It can feel very tempting as a parent to want to give advice, to want to fix it, to want to start with at least. And we know, thanks to Brené Brown, that empathy does not start with at least. You want to just validate their emotions and say, it feels really uncomfortable. That is really hard. It's a hard feeling to feel. And then remind them they can handle it. It's okay to feel embarrassed. I'm here for you. It's a hard feeling and I know you can do it. You're growing through this. So thank you so much for writing in. I really appreciate the nuance of this question and we will see you next time. Real moments are learning moments.